This is season 2 of Community Designs. I'm Monique Woodward and we're in St Kilda at the Lifesaving Club. Let's go chat to a few of the lifesavers and the people that made this project possible. This is Bernadene Voss, Mayor of the City of Port Phillip. We're standing out the front of the Lifesaving Club in St Kilda. Bernadene, tell us what prompted the redevelopment project.
Well, this has been a project that's been going on for some time. So in 2014, we went out to the community and started the consultation process to redevelop the St Kilda Lifesaving Club. It had come to the end of its life. It was really run down and not fit for purpose. And so we have 5 lifesaving clubs in the community in the city of Port Phillip, and this one was the worst. So it really needed to be rejuvenated and come back to do what it's supposed to be doing, which is emergency lifesaving.
How did you start the process?
With consulting with the existing community here, in particular the lifesavers and the rest of the community. This is a coastal environment, and our community, like most, are very, very passionate about what happens on the coast. The bay is particularly loved, so we needed to develop a life-saving facility that was fit for purpose, had all the things that the community wanted, and then delivered and fitted into Lifesaving Victoria's Clubhouse of the Future guidelines.
So it's a gorgeous, gorgeous building done by Robert Simeone, a fabulous architect, a Melbourne hero. Architect's architect, you might say. How did he come to be involved?
A proper procurement process was conducted, and I was pleased that he was selected because he actually designed the Stoke House, which is right next door. And I think that's significant because a lot of the design features, integrate with each other, and so it doesn't look out of place. Even though we had significantly different budgets, this one here is very sympathetic to the coastline. So the bay is really harsh on buildings, so we need to make sure that it had durable fabrics in it, like the concrete, like the wood, that softens the outside, but also really integrated into the environment.
Yeah, they're 2 sort of premier projects, really. The Stoke House, this one, they sit so comfortably together. Was that done deliberately?
Absolutely. There were a lot of requirements, like we couldn't remove any of the palm trees, the beautiful palm trees, so they had to stay where they are, and the same with the Stoke House. They needed to increase some of the facilities. So, for example, we've got lots more toilets here now, which is really well needed by, the 795,000 people that come here every single year. In St Kilda, this is, probably the most popular destination on the bay. These buildings were built at the same time, so there was a bit of a competition, to see who would get built first, but actually, the Stoke House was built first, and but we're here today and opening up the St Kilda Lifesaving Club, so it's a great day.
So this one had a more modest budget than the Stoke House. Talk about some of the challenges and how you were able to sort of overcome those.
So yeah, there were lots of challenges. One being budget, of course, but as a council, we're really used to working into budget. So overall, the total cost of absolutely everything, including staff time, everything, so total budget was $5.5 million. But 3.7 was council's contribution, and there were other parties that contributed the rest, like Lifesaving Victoria. The state government contributed to the changing places toilet that's there for disability, and also the Stoke House actually contributed some money as well. So there's quite a few contributors, but the biggest thing is working with the community on a design that's going to meet all their expectations and also deliver what Lifesaving Victoria's Clubhouse of the Future is, and also what the lifesavers want. So yeah, there's actually a few competing issues there, but we managed to come out with a really great result. Yeah. So pretty happy with that.
No, it is amazing. I think there's a tendency to to not choose, in a way, these premier architects who have the expertise to deliver these excellent buildings and to revert to the cheapest design or whatever. But a real accomplishment of the council that they had the courage to really do that. So it's really great, really impressive. So what's your favourite space?
Oh look, I'd have to say the lookout tower, where the lifesavers actually sit and look out at the bay and the beach. It's a great view. It's over 180 degrees. I'd have to say, I haven't measured, but maybe it's 200 or more degrees that you can see along the beach. So you've got a great view up one side to Port Melbourne and a fantastic view down the rest of St Kilda. So it's a beautiful spot, as of course you can see, everything that happens in the water here too. So,
and what about some of the feedback from the community? How's it been?
Well, today's the day, that the community is going to get to have a look at it. So, I'll be interested to see what that feedback is. But I've been through it a few times now, and it's a beautiful space. I think, having it, one of the sort of issues that we've had to sort of come across is the increase in spend, because it has to be DDA compliant, so it has to have a lift, and I think what we've achieved is a really special place. So we've got the changing places toilet, which is the first one in our city, certainly first one on the bay, and so it means that people with severe disabilities in particular can come here, adults, and and we're even looking at how we can get access for them down to the beach as well. So because that's so important and part of that process. Yeah, that's exactly right. I think also, the wood around, the softening structures that's really softened the look of this building, and also the beautiful way you can open up the windows inside that allows air to sort of circulate through the place. I think it's really lovely.
I guess the other really impressive thing is the view from the street. I mean, obviously we've got heaps of cars moving past. It is an icon, so.
Yeah, that's right. And we've got quite a few icons here. You've got a number of very popular restaurants, and we've got obviously the Palais right across the road there. So this is a really special spot for St Kilda. The City of Port Phillip respectfully acknowledges the Yalukit Willem clan of the Boonwurrung. We pay our respects to their elders, both past and present, and we acknowledge and uphold their traditional relationship to this land. In line with our focus on sustainable design, Council has incorporated green, friendly features, including solar panels, water tanks, and the ability to monitor energy efficiency and water use. Extra toilets have been provided for beachgoers, and the club can rent the training and function spaces to local community group to support its life-saving activities.
I'm hanging out on the sand with Jeanette Lambert, club president. Jeanette, talk to us about the process.
Well, it's been a long time coming. We first started lobbying for this building 14 years ago, and it probably wasn't until about 2012 when things really started to get moving, when we finally secured funding from the state government through Lifesaving Victoria with the help of the City of Port Phillip. And we then got to the point where they were able to match that funding. Then the Stokehouse burnt down and everyone noticed there was a life-saving club there. So that really sort of sped things up a lot in terms of what was possible for us and the investment that was possible in that project, with the contribution coming from Stokehouse as well through their redevelopment process.
As club president, what was your contribution to the project?
It's a fairly involved one, to say the least. Luckily, I have a background in architecture, so I was one of the few people in the club that could read plans and could actually figure out whether or not things were going to work for us operationally. So we had a really long process of consultation with our members, as well as the community, as well as our committee, many design meetings with council, very detailed process. It's sort of been a few years of that work, so I've been president for the last 3 years, and the majority of my time has been spent on the project. Beyond that, media and being a voice for the club is really my role. So I mean, it's been a great process. I think we've come to a really good outcome, and it's certainly been great for the club. We've already had an increase in membership from about 65 towards the opening of the building just before Christmas, and now 2 months later we're already up to around 84. So it's been a really fantastic change for the club, and it's certainly going to mean that we're sustainable into the future.
So there's a band playing in the background. What's happening today?
Today is our community open day. The band is the Scrims, who I actually kind of know. They're great friends of ours. And they play some fantastic music. Bit of fun, bit of food, some kids' activities. People just coming down, checking out the club, finding out how to join if they want to join, finding out how they can get involved, and just opening up the facility so that they know what's on offer. Community groups are able to hire the space, and so are private functions and things like that. So it's really about people knowing what we're about, what the building's about, and how they can use it, I guess, to maximise its community benefit.
And so you've obviously, there's a little door where the truck comes out of, there's a lot of space. It needs to, house all of that equipment. Talk a bit about that and how that was resolved.
Yeah, it's very constrained between Jacker Boulevard, the Esplanade, Stokehouse, Donovan's, green space, having to go a metre and a bit up above flood level heights. That all meant that we were really constrained around what we could actually do. So we had to work really hard to, make sure the access was right, make sure the siding was right, ensuring that we had the adequate height of the roof. We've actually got a 3.9 metre roof on the ground floor, which allows us to put in boat stackers so we can put one surfboat on top of another. So all of that was part of that consideration in terms of how we could maximise that storage space. The equipment store is exactly the minimum guideline under the future Clubhouse of the Future guidelines. But that was pretty much all we could fit anyway within the constraints, especially with the addition of the public toilets and the changing places facility, which are great additions for the community. Half our job was directing people to public toilets before, now they're right there. So it's been a really long process, but we did get there in the end, and I think we'll probably will run out of space at some point with the increase in membership, but then we might have to look offsite.
And upstairs you've got the lookout tower.
Yeah, the observation tower has given us a much better view than the previous building, which didn't really have an observation tower. So it's an amazing view. We've already had a couple of rescues happen as a result of spotting people from that tower. The office area is really great as well. Before we didn't really have much of one, it was under the stairs. So it's nice to have a window where our administrators work now. Makes us more visible. People realise we're there. Before you couldn't tell if we were up there or not. And I think that's really important, that people can really see that there is a presence, there is a lifeguard on the beach. It makes them feel safer. And it just makes the building feel much more active than the previous one.
So it's improved your life as club president?
Pretty tired at this point, but I'm certainly very, very pleased with the result. So it's very satisfying to get to this point. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'll let you go because I know you've got heaps of work to do with the event today. Thank you so much. Amongst the boats with me is Andrew Foran from Life Saving Victoria. Do you want to talk about the institution?
Life Saving Victoria.
Yes.
Life Saving Victoria is a collective of about 57 life-saving clubs around the state of Victoria. Yep. Our mission is to prevent death and injury in and around water, and we work with a range of different stakeholders to achieve that mission as an organisation. And this is just one of the examples of how we achieve that, through good building design and community engagement to keep people safe in and around water.
And so has this been one of many upgrades?
Yeah, so Life Saving Victoria has a mission to upgrade or redevelop all of our life-saving clubs. We've now redeveloped 14 life-saving clubs in the last 10 years, and we're actually seeking to continue doing that right around the state.
Yeah, amazing. So what was your involvement in this project?
Well, my involvement was to assist the club and represent Life Saving Victoria through the project. But we had a very small part. So the Life Saving Club here at St Kilda, the City of Port Phillip, the architects and their partners were very much responsible. But our role here was just to assist all of those stakeholders and anything we could do to achieve the outcome of the project.
And so you're happy with the built outcome?
Oh, we love the project. Yeah, look, it's a magnificent building. The Life Saving Club, the City of Port Phillip, need to be congratulated. This is an outstanding facility. Yeah.
What's your favourite part?
I love upstairs, of course, but look, it's a very functional building, and the architect in City of Port Phillip, with the contributions of the club, have achieved an outstanding outcome in getting a very attractive, very good-looking building that is also very functional. So it meets all of the functional designs that we're particularly looking for in a building of a lifesaving club, but it looks fabulous, so we're very pleased.
And so how do you think it's changed the way the lifesavers themselves actually work within the space?
Well, the space is much more functional. So it's got features that actually allow the club to better store all of its gear and equipment. And lifesaving clubs, as services in lifesaving evolve and change, need to find new and better ways of actually storing their gear and equipment. But the building allows the club to better engage with the community. So it actually allows the club to embrace the community more readily and much more easily, and it's a much more inclusive space for the club. So it allows the community to be very, very much a part of the lifesaving club and be able to walk through the facility in a much easier way.
Is there anything else you wanted to say, Lassie?
From Lifesaving Victoria's perspective, we really want to congratulate the City of Port Phillip, and we really want to congratulate the St Kilda Lifesaving Club, and also to thank the State Government of Victoria for making this project possible. So we're obviously extremely pleased. We're very proud of what the club's been able to achieve, and we're very excited about what the future holds for the club, and what the future holds for the City of Port Phillip and its community in this building and other projects we're working with the City of Port Phillip to achieve.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for your time. I'm here with Cheyenne, Chief Instructor. What does that mean?
So as Chief Instructor for the club, I train any new members. Yeah. Usually they're bronze medallion self-lifesaving, which means once you've done that, you can wear the red and yellow patrol on the beach.
Amazing.
Also in charge of any extra awards the members want to do. So if they want to drive a boat, do say advanced resuscitation or first aid, I usually coordinate the training and assessment for the club. And
you've got a new home upstairs now?
Yes, fantastic new home with a huge training room, which is fantastic for us. It's great for the members to have a observation area up the top to see the beach better. Yep. Also, from a training and assessment perspective, means we've got a space we can train our members.
Yep. Amazing. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Community Designs. See you next time.